Right this way. Just watch your step for me. Step all the way in. Thank you.
You may proceed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Suzanne Garland, Garland.
And what is your occupation, ma'am?
I own a Barre Method studio. It's a bar workout in Hingham Center.
And how long have you owned the Barre Method in Hingham Center?
Since September of 2021, I opened the studio.
And is that a franchise?
It is, yes.
And how many Barre Methods are in the United States?
I think at this point about 100.
And where exactly is your studio?
It's right in Hingham Center, sort of on South Street, 99 South Street, across from CVS.
And how many employees do you have at your studio?
16.
And how many clients did you have in 2022 into 2023?
I would say about 160 active clients.
And at that time, did you keep and maintain records for your business?
Yes.
And what kind of records did you maintain?
We maintained membership agreements and class history, purchases, time and date of classes taken, the number of classes each client took.
And how did you keep those records?
Electronically.
And why do you keep those records?
For regular course of business, but also to report to our franchise.
And do you have a corporate email?
Yes.
And what is that corporate email?
I have two, actually. One is hingham@barmethod.com, and the other is my personal business email, which is suzanne.garland@barmethod.com.
And you also keep payment information?
Yes.
And do you maintain all communications with clients in good faith?
Yes.
And do you keep your records in good faith as well?
Yes.
Did you know Anna Walshe?
I did.
And how did you know Anna Walshe?
I knew Anna for several years. Actually, prior to owning the Barre Method, it existed in Hingham Center. Another woman in town had owned it before it. I used to take classes there with Anna all the time. She and I would be there 4 times a week together taking classes. And then when I reopened the studio after COVID in 2021, she signed up right away. And again, she was coming 4 days a week up until the time that she was moving.
And what kind of membership did she initially have with you?
She purchased a Club Bar Unlimited membership, which allowed her to take as many classes as she wanted during the month for a fixed price.
And did you have a membership agreement with her?
I did, yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Ma'am, do you recognize this?
Yes, this is our month-to-month membership agreement that we keep with all clients on the unlimited plan.
And I'd ask you to look at the last page.
Sorry. This is her signature.
It's at the agreement with Anna Walshe.
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Marked and admitted into evidence, the membership agreement of Anna Walshe for Barre Method is in evidence as 152.
Ms. Garland, as part of the membership agreement, are members asked about their health?
Yes.
And do they have to sign off for medical information?
They have to sign that they are fit to take classes.
Why is that?
For liability purposes for the studio.
So in December of 2022, how often would Anna Walshe attend Barre Method?
So she would be coming whenever she was in town. She was doing quite a bit of traveling back and forth to DC at that time. So I think she was there 3 or 4 times at least. Whenever she could come in, she wanted to be there.
So do you mean 3 or 4 times a week or something else?
I think December of 2022, she was there 3 or 4 times total, right?
And did she have a membership at that time?
She did not. She was paying drop-in classes.
And did you have communication with her about the classes via email?
Yes, she had emailed me when she found out that she was getting the new job in DC. She emailed me that she needed to discontinue her month-to-month unlimited class membership and that she would, drop in when she was around. And then when she came back to DC in December of 2022, she emailed me, I believe it was December 30th, saying that she had purchased a drop-in class, but she would rather do a special we were offering, which allowed her to take an unlimited amount of classes over the next month because she was going to be in the area more.
And you said when she came back, she came to DC, but did you mean when she came to
I'm sorry,
Cohasset?
when she came to Hingham, yes.
Okay. And did you maintain the email communication that you had with her in your normal course of business?
I did, yes. I kept my email from her and I have it to this day.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm showing you 3 documents, if you could look at those. Do you recognize those documents?
Yes.
And what are those documents?
These are email communications from Anna to me. The first one is letting me know that she had gotten the new job opportunity in DC and telling me how wonderful her experience at the Barre method had been. However, the last 10 years, she's taken classes in DC and the Boston locations. She said, we have developed an incredible team culture and feeling of being cared for. She loves the energy of the studio. She asked if we were ever considering opening one in DC. That was the first email. The second email was the one that I mentioned on December 30th, asking if she qualified for the 30-day unlimited special we were offering for $79. If so, could she exchange the single class that she booked for it, which is $29, and apply that towards the $79 special? And then I responded to her on January 1st because I was away on vacation at that time. And I said, technically, you don't qualify it since she had been in the studio recently, but I would honor it since her situation was so different than the norm.
Your Honor, I'd ask that those be the next 3 exhibits.
No objection.
All right. They'll be marked and admitted into evidence. So the 3 different emails are one from, what are the dates of those emails?
The first would be from February 27th of 2022.
Okay, that's in as 154. Well, did I mess that up? 153? Okay, so as it was coming out, I looked back up and saw there was no 153. So 153 is the email from 2/27/22. 154 is what? Date?
154 would be 12/30/2022.
Okay, and the third one?
The third one would be January 1st, 2023.
All right, those 3 are now in evidence, 153 to 155.
And did you also keep the registration for December 31st of 2022?
The class registration log?
Yes, I apologize.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for correcting me. And that's maintained in the normal course of business?
Yes, we have records of every single class.
And I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
The class registration for the Barre method is in evidence. It's 156.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
And seeing that document, ma'am, do you, does that show, what does that show?
This shows that Anna Walshe created a reservation for class on the morning of December 31st. She did that on December 30th at 11:18 p.m. And it shows that she was checked in for class on December 31st at 8:17 p.m.
And does that show that she attended that class?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any cross?
Just briefly. Good morning.
Getting there.
The email that Mrs. Walsh had sent you asking to convert her drop-in to the unlimited monthly, that was on December 31st?
Was it December 30th or 31st?
December 30th or 31st?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason that she was asking to do that is because she expected to be in the South Shore area more the next month?
Yes.
Okay. You had mentioned that your studio requires a medical waiver?
When you sign the month-to-month agreement, you do acknowledge in there that you are healthy and that you have conferred with your doctor.
Okay. And she does that, or that a person, for example, does that once when they first start coming to you as a client?
They sign that every time they sign a contract.
Okay. So when was the last time Anna Walsh had signed a contract with Bar Method?
I believe it was September of 2021. I don't think she was actually ever able to book that last contract she wanted to.
Okay. So the health waiver that you're talking about, or the medical waiver, was September of 2022, or excuse me, September of 2021?
Yes.
Okay. And the medical waiver that someone signs, do they have to provide any type of medical documentation to confirm they are in fact good health?
No, we don't require a letter from a physician.
So it's just self-reporting? Yes?
Yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
Any redirect?
No, thank you.
The witness may step down. Thank you. Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Ashley Semino.
There you go.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
What is your name?
My name is Ashley Semino.
Can you just pull the microphone just a little bit closer? Thank you so much. And can you spell your last name for the record?
Yes, Semino, Cimmino.
And what is your occupation, ma'am?
I'm a special education teacher and a bar instructor.
So how long have you been a special education teacher?
About 7 years.
And you said that you're also a bar instructor.
Yes, that's correct.
And where are you a bar instructor?
Currently at the Bar Method in Hingham.
And where else have you taught bar classes?
The Bar Method in Boston, both the Back Bay location and the Financial District location when they were open.
So how long have you been an instructor for Bar Method?
So I started working there in about 2010. And so it's been about 10 plus years since I started instructing.
And how do you become an instructor for Bar Method?
So we go through an intensive training. We sit with a trainer from headquarters. This person goes through an entire day with us. We have to take an anatomy exam, and we go through at least 3 to 6 months of training after that, co-teaching with a veteran instructor. And following that, to maintain our certification, we have to take a annual exam.
So do you need to be certified?
Yes.
And you have to maintain that certification yearly?
Yes, every year we take an exam.
Were you familiar with Anna Walsh?
Yes, when I first met her, she was on a NIP.
And where did you first meet Anna Nip?
At the Bar Method in Boston.
And when was that? Do you remember?
It was probably around 2011. At that time, I was working at the front desk, and she would frequent the lunchtime class.
And which Bar Method in Boston?
The Back Bay location. So that was on Clarendon Street.
And how often did you see her when you were at the Bar Method in the Back Bay location?
Almost every day.
Did you ever see Anna Nip outside of the Bar Method studio in Boston?
Occasionally, if we were bumping into each other on the street, but that would be it.
Well, did you ever see her at a different job that you might have had in Boston?
Yes, she had come to one of the Celtics games that I was working at.
What did you do for the Celtics?
I was a dancer.
And what was her demeanor when she came to Bar Method in Boston?
She was always so warm, seeing somebody every day.
Objection.
Overruled. We'll let the answer stand. Move on.
While in Boston, did you ever meet Brian Walshe?
He did come into the Bar Method, yes.
And how many times did you meet him?
At least once or twice.
Now, directing your attention to Saturday, December 31st of 2022, were you working that day?
I was.
And where were you working?
At the Bar Method in Hingham.
And which class were you teaching?
I was teaching both classes. There's one around 8:15 and one around 9:15.
And who was in your 8:15 a.m. class?
Anna was.
And how long had you been an instructor at Bar Method in Hingham at that point?
That was my first day teaching at the Bar Method in Hingham.
And when did you first notice Anna Walshe?
So I wasn't familiar looking, we all get class lists of our class prior. So one of the Bar Method qualities is that we are able to call our clients by name as we're teaching them. And actually it was because of Anna in Boston that we always clarify with our clients, is it Anna or is it Anna? So I had asked our front desk staff that day, and she was like, I believe it's Anna. So when I started class, I just made a little note of it, but she wasn't there at the start of class.
When did she come in?
She came in about 10 minutes late.
And what did you do when she came in?
It was kind of like this oh my God moment, because with COVID, we had closed the Boston studios, and I had, had 3 children simultaneously at the time, so I took a little step back from teaching. And when those studios in Boston closed, I decided it was either going to Wellesley or Hingham, and I chose Hingham.
And what type of interactions did you have with her during the class?
During the class, I was instructing her. I was giving verbal adjustments, hand-on adjustments. But when she came in, we kind of had, oh my God, I can't believe that you're here.
And what type of exercise do you do during a bar class? How does it work?
So a Bar Method class, you work all your muscles in your body. You work your muscles to exhaustion, and then you stretch them to become longer and leaner, but also stay healthy and safe with your body.
So can you explain how you do that?
Sure. So we start off with a warm-up. You could do up to 60 push-ups in class. We move into a portion of class where you're working your thigh muscles. You work a portion of your seat, you go into curl, and there's some stretching in between. And typically a class is 45 minutes to an hour, and you use light to heavy weights depending on the client's choice.
And do you remember how long that class was?
That was a 45-minute class.
And how did Anna Walshe perform during that class?
She was a powerhouse. Clients are given the option during my setup that they can do push-ups on their hands and knees, hands and feet, or up at the bar for a modification. And she was doing the push-ups on the balls of her feet, on her hands. She was completing the motions. She was someone that you wanted to take class with because she made you work harder.
Did you notice any injuries on her during your class on December 31st of 2022?
No, and she did not make me aware of any that would change any of the exercises that we were doing.
And after the class was over, what interactions did you have with Miss Walshe?
We chatted, and actually I remember having to tell her, I'm so sorry, I can't finish our conversation because the next class was starting. So there was at least 15 to 20 minutes between when her class ended and the next one started.
And what, if anything, did she say about coming to the gym in the future?
So she had been so excited to see me because she had told me that I was one of her favorite instructors, and she was so happy to see that I was in Hingham. She was planning on coming to a lot more, and she wanted to know my schedule.
And have you seen Anna Walshe since Saturday, December 31st,
I have not.
2022? If I might just have one moment, Your Honor. Nothing, thank you, Your Honor.
Cross.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
When was the last time you spoke to the prosecutors or police about your testimony today?
August, I believe?
Okay. You didn't speak to them today or yesterday?
No.
Okay. And you had mentioned that you are a special education teacher?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And then you also still teach bar?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're a mom?
I am.
Okay. Are you, and I'm not trying to be flip with you, but you're not a doctor?
No,
You're not a nurse?
I am not.
Did you perform any type of medical tests on Anna Walshe on December 31st?
No, I do not.
Are you aware if she had any pulmonary issues that were undiagnosed?
Not that I saw.
Are you a pulmonologist?
I am not.
Are you aware of any undiagnosed cardiac issues that she may have had on December 31st?
No.
Are you aware of any neurological issues that she may have been suffering from on December 31st?
No.
And prior to December 31st, what was the last date that you saw Anna Walshe?
I couldn't tell you.
Over a year?
Probably.
Nothing further, Judge.
Any redirect?
No, thank you.
The witness may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth would call Janet Cotter.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you've given upon time
Right this way. Just watch your step for me. Step all the way in there so you get this chair for you. There you go. All set.
And you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Could you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Janet Cotter, Cotter.
Ma'am, what town do you live in?
I live in Hingham, Massachusetts.
In January of 2023, did you reach out to the Cohasset Police Department?
I did.
Why?
I had had an interaction with Anna Walshe at a nail salon and had subsequently read about, what had happened to her. And
So I'm going to interrupt you there. I'd like to ask you about that interaction.
certainly,
Okay. Now, when did the interaction, first off, did you know Anna Walshe at all?
I did not.
Okay. When did this interaction with Anna Walshe occur?
On New Year's Eve in 2022
And where did it occur?
at a nail salon in Hingham called Glossy.
And now, how did you two interact at Glossy Nails?
We were just sitting side by side.
And did you have the opportunity to have any conversation with Anna Walshe?
I did.
Okay. First off, what was her demeanor when you were talking to her?
She was very friendly, very open and warm.
And do you remember what she was wearing?
I do. She was wearing yoga pants and a yoga top.
And what did she tell you about her work while the two of you were talking?
I believe she told me that she was employed in commercial real estate in Washington.
And where did she tell you that she resided?
She resided, I believe, in Washington part-time, but also lived in Cohasset.
What did she tell you about her family?
She told me she had 3 sons.
And did she say who was raising her 3 sons?
She indicated that her husband was helpful.
And what did she tell you about her plans for New Year's Eve?
She told me that she was entertaining. She was having somebody over for dinner. Yeah.
No, I apologize. I interrupted you. Did she say anything else?
She did not.
And what did she tell you about her plans for New Year's Day?
For New Year's Day, she told me that she was going to some kind of special dinner. Yeah, I think it was in Marblehead. And she was very much looking forward to it. She was going with just her husband.
How long did the two of you talk for?
Probably no more than 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
And I'm not someone who gets their nails done. What were you guys doing at the nail salon?
Well, we were getting a pedicure at the time, but we were there to get both.
Did you see any injuries on her at this point in time?
I did not.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross?
No questions. Thank you, Ms. Cotter.
The witness may step down. Thank you.
That check for you.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Julie Bassler.